Anime is weird. I know, most shocking statement of the decade right there, but really, anime is weird, and I think we all need to acknowledge that. So today, we are doing the top 5 most out-of-pocket anime moments from 2023. You know, those moments when you're watching an anime and you're just kind of like, what am I watching right now? It's moments like these that give anime so much life. Those out-of-pocket moments are undoubtedly going to be some of the ones you remember the best. Whether they're unexpected, chaotic, shocking, or just plain goofy. And goofy is a perfect descriptor for the first out-of-pocket moment on our list. All right, so this is a pretty short one, but what it lacks in length, it makes up for in, whatever that is. It's established in Zom 100 that zombies have begun to take over the planet, and for the most part, these zombies act fairly consistent with what you'd expect from the typical zombie story. You know, aside from the farting. Like, I imagine anyone who watched this scene probably had one of two reactions. Either, oh my god, the zombie's farting! Oh my god! Or, the funny thing is, for how out of pocket this scene is, it isn't unprecedented. Dead bodies build up a ton of gas when they're decomposing. This is a process called putrefaction, and is often why dead bodies will begin to bloat after a while. And this doesn't just occur in humans, but in other animals as well. In fact, whale carcasses will produce so much gas that it actually allows their corpse to float on the water. Which is actually kind of gross to think about. In reality, if zombies existed, they would probably be farting constantly due to the gas buildup, all to poor Akira's dismay. After the zombie apocalypse, Akira is finally able to quit his exploitative job and is given a new lease on life. The dude swears that he's going to get a girlfriend to share his newfound freedom with, and all he has to work with is... Yeah, good luck with that. I think that we as a society default to looking down on fart jokes just because they're kind of seen as immature and mindless. But I genuinely think that if you actually put effort into it, a fart joke can grant you so much mileage. And with how bizarre and out of pocket this scene is, I think it works beautifully. Frieren is such a cozy anime. Anytime I'm feeling sad or stressed, I can just turn on some Frieren and instantly I'm encompassed by a feeling of warmth and wholesomeness that I just can't get from any other anime. Which is why when said anime does something unhinged or out of pocket, I'm not really expecting it. And one of the best examples of this is Frieren's handy little potion she has for Stark. Stark, the warrior in Frieren's party, has his 18th birthday coming up, so of course this has Fern, Frieren's apprentice, wondering what she can give him for his birthday. Frieren, however, knows exactly what she's getting him.
Potion that dissolves clothing.
Excuse me? In this show, one of Frieren's main goals is to better understand humans. In this instance, though, I think she understands them a little too well. I mean, look at her face. She knows exactly what she's doing. Why do you need to travel thousands of miles to understand humans when you already know what it all boils down to? The absolute look of disgust on Fern's face, too, it's priceless. Like, you can just tell she's done dealing with Frieren at this point. In general, Fern's relationship with Frieren is like taking care of a cat that just doesn't understand when to stop wrecking your house. So I can't really say that her reaction is unwarranted. I mean, you can't give an 18-year-old a potion for dissolving people's clothes. That's just a disaster waiting to happen. I think it's safe to say that Fern dumping it all out was probably for the best. Our number 3 out-of-pocket moment comes from the anime Shangri-La Frontier, and this one is notable because it's literally the opening scene of the anime. Our hero Sunraku, after a long and arduous journey, has just defeated the Dark Lord. Upon his defeat, the sky is clear and the Princess Faria sings Sunraku's praises, congratulating him on a well-earned victory. It is then that Sunraku proceeds to, well, that's certainly a way to start your anime. Just why? That's like the most reasonable thing anyone could ask watching this. Just why? Let's just ignore the fact that Sunraku was half naked for a second, okay? We're just gonna overlook that for a second. Why did he just absolutely deck this poor lady right in the face? And you know it had to hurt. Look at the animation. You can see her face rippling from the impact. So this anime is about a guy who loves playing trashy VR games, and we find out later that Princess Faria is just an NPC in one of these games, and a really annoying one at that. But we don't know that yet. Going in, you would assume this is a show about a psychotic luchador or something based on what we just saw. And honestly, I love it. This scene is so out of pocket and chaotic that it's just bound to make you want to keep watching to see what happens. And I have to commend it for that. In general, Shangri-La Frontier is such a goofy show that encapsulates everything about playing video games online. And this scene in particular captures that essence perfectly. Mash Burn Dead has no magic powers whatsoever, which makes going to a magic school kind of complicated. Mash, however, is able to bypass his lack of magic by sheer, swollenness. No better is this demonstrated when Mash defends his friend Finn Ames from school bully Lloyd Cavil, who just so happens to be the son of a VIP in the Bureau of Magic, and is on very good terms with the school's vice principal. After witnessing the act of violence Mash commits against one of the school's most prestigious students, the vice principal is determined to make an example of Finn and Mash and expel them from the school permanently. This is a problem because Mash must attend Easton Magic Academy if he wants to ensure his father's safety. So if he gets expelled, it's all over. We as the audience are now on the edge of our seats, wondering how Mash is going to find a way out of this predicament. Oh, you're just gonna bury him. All right. This scene isn't just out of pocket, it's savage. Up to this point, we've seen Mash do some pretty crazy things with his strength, but nothing like this. By the way, I just want to add, he's burying him into what looks like a stone floor, which is actually pretty tame for some of the stuff he does later. If that's not enough, as he's doing this, he proceeds to give the vice principal one of the most bone-chilling lines.
Like how you can expel me whenever you want. I can bury you whenever I want.
When I saw this, I really wasn't expecting it, but the reason it made me laugh so much is because it's totally something that Mash would do. Mash has a, let's just say, very simple way of thinking, and tends to take the route that will get him to his goals as soon as possible, even if it means reaching it through sheer brute force. And to me, this is like the ultimate example of that thought process. Forget everything else, just bury the evidence alive. In season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen, we're introduced to a character called Mei Mei, and although she doesn't do a lot in season 1, she still kind of makes an impression. She has a pretty neat character design, and she likes money a lot, it's pretty well-defined character trait. Once we get to season 2, we see a bit more of her. Oh, look at that. She has like a really cool axe she uses to kill curses with. That's pretty cool. And look, she brought her brother with her. That's cute. I mean, they are kind of weirdly close, but whatever, who am I to judge? I'm sure he just, really looks up to his sister and sees her as a shining example of a jujutsu sorcerer. Doesn't have to be weird or anything. I'm sure it's no big deal. Unlike every other out-of-pocket moment on our list, this one isn't very funny. It's more so just kind of shocking and creepy. The Shibuya incident is a crazy story arc in Jujutsu Kaisen. Stuff is happening constantly. Massive battles, huge plot revelations, characters dropping like flies. You're so preoccupied with everything happening, so when this happens, it's just about the last thing you would have expected. It just comes out of nowhere, especially considering the fact that up to this point, we had seen Mei Mei so infrequently, we could have listed her character traits on a single hand. Now, with all that said, as weird as this scene is, it isn't there just to shock and gross you out. It does serve a purpose. The hotel Mei Mei and her brother are staying in is actually in Malaysia. Notable because this is where Nanami envisioned retiring right before he died. Which, by the way, if you want more info about that, check out our top 5 saddest anime deaths video. Nanami is important to point out in this instance because he is a good person who dies because he puts his life on the line to help others. Mei Mei, on the other hand, is a coward who views her brother as a disposable tool and runs away the moment things in Shibuya start to heat up. And in the end, she's rewarded for her cowardice and perversion by escaping to the place Nanami dreamed of. This is how Jujutsu society works. Those who are concerned with only their own selfish ambitions will climb to the top of the food chain. Meanwhile, good people like Nanami are chewed up and disposed of. And this is the higher authority that Gojo has been butting heads with since the beginning. This hotel scene of Mei Mei being emblematic of that authority. That being said, let us know how you guys interpret this scene down in the comments below. And while you're at it, go ahead and give us some of your favorite out-of-pocket anime moments. And hey, if you're interested in seeing more, why don't you check out this recent video we did on Funimation? A lot of work went into it, so I definitely appreciate it. Until next time, guys, take care.